Hi.
Hey girl, I'm just doing a couple of things. Let me make sure that we are really up. I see you. I don't see me on here yet. Let's see what's going on. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. There we
Is
go.
there a glare on my glasses? I can take them off.
Wait, why don't I just put mine on and we both can glare? Wait, you feel better? No, I don't see a glare.
Okay,
I
good.
don't see one at all. So
Perfect.
how was your day, love?
It was long, but tomorrow's Friday, so that's good.
Right, right.
We're
And
happy about Friday.
let me go over here so I can see if anybody is trying to talk to us at all. Huh. We gonna see. Because we are live on YouTube. I do see that.
Yeah, I see the live notification too.
Okay. Yes, we are live. I see that quite well right now. Okay, I just want to welcome everyone to Unfiltered with Cara Jones Unlimited LLC podcast. Tonight, I am featuring Kim Bush. She is a certified personal trainer. And this is the second episode of my CJU underscore GWO underscore series. So I guess you're probably saying, what does that mean? CJU is Cara Jones Unlimited. GWO is Grown Women Only.
Good.
So catch up. I don't have the energy for this tonight. I did ice me some water, but a hot flash.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. It's been one of those days. It's like almost 100 degrees in Texas. How is Bama?
Yeah, it was 90 plus.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, I didn't want to look at y'all's news too much today because I was so upset by it yesterday
Oh,
with these soaring COVID numbers and all this crap.
I know.
I can't get with it.
It's not good. It's
It's
not
not good at all. I meant to have my mask in here so you know. We could go there. Maybe for the second part, I'm going to put on my mask because people need to understand how serious this mess is. This is real. Folks are dying, you know.
good.
I
Yeah,
have a relative who just got out of the hospital after 7 weeks. 7 weeks. She was diagnosed with COVID and double pneumonia. And she was in the hospital for 7 weeks. She's still recuperating in rehab now. It's no joke.
yeah.
That's all I see on Facebook, like in Montgomery, they doing all these outside events.
Yeah.
What's up
And
with
they
that?
say, and they say that they will have social distancing in place, but that's hard to do when you're outside with a group of people, when there's more than 5 people, 5 to 10 people. So I don't know, but I go to work, I come back, I get in my house, and that's where I stay.
You and me both. And I
I,
just park right here
I
through the
occasionally
main little
drive by
street.
and wave at people, and that's about it.
That's it. That's all you gonna get from me because I'm like, I'm not going. I only leave the house when it's necessary, and that's like groceries,
Right.
doctor's appointment. I do my walk, you know, but I'm not trying to mingle with the people.
No. Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna mingle with the people. So I'm really excited, sweet girl, that you accepted my invitation to talk to me on this new podcast because you know you and I go way back. You one of the first friends I met when I relocated to Central Alabama from California, and we had the opportunity to work together at your family's company, Bush Signs, one of the oldest African American owned businesses in Alabama, not just
Yeah.
Montgomery, but Alabama.
Hmm.
Business nationally? Did you guys do global business?
No, just across mostly the southeastern United States, but we
Yeah.
did expand to the Midwest at one point.
Okay. Well, I was privileged to work with y'all, and it was there that we began having some conversations in between, how would you say, reframing databases and things like that.
Hmm.
Me coming in buying backdrops, event signs, thanks to Bush Signs. I have my wonderful Cara Jones Unlimited backdrop. I've had it since 2016, and it still serves me well. Thank you, Stephen Bush. Tell your husband, still works well for me. But I'm so proud of you, Kim. Tell us what you've been doing. What is this Fearlessly Fit training all about?
Well, like most career ventures that I got into over the years, because at one point I was a realtor,
Right.
and I did Mary Kay for a while, and it came from not being able to find what I needed, basically. Um,
What do you mean? What do you need it? What does that mean?
well, I became a realtor after a bad experience with a realtor, and I decided if this person can do this, I can do it too. It can't be that hard. Um, and then, of course, with the fitness thing, you mentioned the sign shop. We did close it in 2017. It was 3 years in May that it closed.
Okay.
So I got into the journey, the health and fitness journey, because I had free time on my hands. For the first time in my adult life, I did not have a job to go to every day. And I had really put so much of my energy into running the business and trying to keep it afloat, basically, that I let myself and everything else go in the process.
Okay.
So, I looked in the mirror one day and I really didn't like what I saw. So I was, I think it was October when I got another job. I was working at a local television station here. And we
Really?
did, yes, I worked at the TV station for exactly 1 year before I started my current job.
Awesome.
So you know how they do promos and they don't have time to go find extras for these commercials sometimes and for promos. So they asked, people in the office if they would participate. And this particular promo was for Veterans Day. So they said, if you have a relative that has served in the armed forces, come on down to the studio. You can write their name on the board and we'll just record you holding the board. And, because at the top it said thank you, basically
Okay.
thanking our family members for their service.
Okay.
So my brother is an Air Force veteran, and I recorded my part of the promo, went on back to work, didn't think anything about it. So a few days later, they sent out the link for us to watch the video.
Right. They do that.
And when I came on the screen, I didn't recognize myself.
What do
I
you
looked,
mean?
my face was so big.
TV
I
does
had
that to you, girl. It wasn't you, it was the
it,
camera.
that wasn't all the TV. That was some extra fluff. So I looked at it and I backed it up and watched it again, and I said, "Oh no, 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 no." So that was November, and I decided to not even attempt to try to start a lifestyle change over the holidays because we all know how that works.
Right.
So January, I was on it. I was ready to go, and I had seen some before and after pictures of a friend of mine that is also a hairstylist, and I hadn't seen her in a while. We met through a mutual friend, and every once in a while she did my hair, and so it had been maybe a year or so since I saw her,
Mm-hmm.
and she posted these before and afters, and I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
she looked like she had lost a significant amount of weight. So I inboxed her. I was like, hey, how did you do that? So she told me about it. I looked up the people, signed up,
Yeah.
and it was a bad experience. And I decided after I did that for about 5 months, because if you worked out before or if you lost weight before, you know what your body responds to. And what they wanted
Right.
me to do everything in me was saying, no, that's not right. But it was that's a that's a story for another day because we don't have enough time for me to go into detail
Oh
about the
my God.
foolishness that went on with this program. So
Okay.
by May, 5 months in, I was like, I'm done. That's it. I'm not doing this anymore. And a friend of mine that I used to work in real estate with was into fitness, and she, sent me a workout that she had done. So I started doing that at the gym. It was a circuit program.
Okay.
And I was going to one of the local gyms here that's owned by an African American couple. And I would look around at some of the people and I thought, okay, like the other trainers that I knew were trainers. And I was like, well, maybe I could study and become a trainer too.
Right.
So I signed up for the program by that fall. And I really had no plans to be a personal trainer to other people. I just wanted knowledge for myself so I could figure out how to put a program together, how to train different muscle groups and body parts, just to get the results I was looking for. Because my body always, what's the word? Performed very well with strength training. I'm not
Okay.
so much a cardio person,
Okay.
which was what they wanted me to do on this other program nonstop. So then, I was done with the program and some people asked me, for help. I would post tips and stuff that worked for me on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew it, I had my first client.
Okay.
And she was a friend from church. She really just wanted accountability because she's also a certified group fitness instructor.
Okay.
But she hadn't done it in a while, and she basically just wanted somebody that would work out with her at the gym and kind of hold her accountable. And I would text her and say, hey, did you do your workout today, or did you get any movement in today? Because sometimes it's not always about going hard every single day. Sometimes you just need to walk.
Right.
Walking is a very underrated form of exercise.
Right.
So a few more months went by, and at the beginning of this year, I got 2 new clients. And then I did some advertising on social media, and I did like an 8-week challenge, and I had 5 people that signed up for that.
Okay.
And then at the beginning of June, I signed up, I think 4 more people. Two of the people from the 8-week challenge signed up for the full program, and then a couple more joined. So, and people can be consistent for a while. So all of those that started are not still with me, but
Okay.
I have not, if they need anything, they know they can call me, text me, message me. It's not like, once they stop, that's it. I cut them off. I try to help them as much as I can. So.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, cut them off.
No, we don't do the
I'm
cancel culture
hilarious.
over
You
here.
know me.
Yeah, we don't do the cancel culture over here. So
Okay. Gotcha.
they're clients for life.
Okay. So you started Fearlessly Fit Training
Hmm.
based upon a reflection that you saw in a mirror.
Yes.
Did I hear you right? I'm trying to paraphrase.
Yes. Basically, I didn't like what I saw.
Okay. I am a licensed clinical mental health counselor now.
Yes,
So,
I know.
you're on that psychology, counseling path as well,
Right.
colleague to be. So, I, often integrate my worlds. Car Jones Unlimited is the tag here. The tagline is promoting wholeness and healing via the performing arts. Everything that we're talking about tonight is promoting wholeness and healing.
Hmm.
So, I'm really proud of you. And if there's anybody that will watch this or is watching this and you have had some conversations with yourself like Kim did about, wanting to make some changes physically. Kim, what was the first step? What do you advise them? What's the first step?
Oh gosh, I think it depends on the person, but basically I tell people, you don't have to change everything at one time. Find one thing that you can make a change with and try to be consistent with that before you add something else. If it's movement, if you say I'm going to walk 15, 20 minutes a day, do that. Then you can start to work on nutrition. Because if you try to do both, then pretty soon you're going to get overwhelmed and give up. And that happened to me so many times. And people sometimes try to be perfect, and that's another trap. Don't fall for it.
What does perfect mean? What do you mean by that?
Because there are, and I'm going to try not to get on my soapbox because I'm a little bit of a rebel in the fitness community.
Okay.
There's so many different, especially on social media, people promote so many different things. So some people will tell you got to do keto. Some people will say you got to do intermittent fasting. Some people say you got to do keto and intermittent fasting together. You got to count your macros. You got to count your calories. If that gives you anxiety, that's counterproductive. So the methods that I teach in the nutrition program that my clients enroll in, we don't count calories, we don't count macros. If they want to do that and use some type of a tracking app like MyFitnessPal, that's fine. But I don't like math. So, and trying to get my macros to line up perfectly every day, that drove me nuts. So start with adding, because it's easier to add than to take away sometimes. Add some fruit and vegetables to your diet. Drink water 90% of the day instead of soda, tea, sugary juice. Eat lean protein, white meat chicken and turkey, fish, and seafood. I know some people, feel like some cuts of beef can be lean, but it depends on you and what your needs are and what your goals are. If you know that your cholesterol tends to be on the higher side, you might want to stay away from red meat. Just saying. That's personally for me. I don't eat a lot of red meat, so you have to figure out what's going to work for you. Sometimes that's trial and error, and people get really discouraged really quickly when they do what they see somebody else doing. That what worked for your friend or what works or what that person on Instagram says is going to work may not work for you. Just saying, I know it's people out there selling all types of stuff. I'm not one of them.
No.
There's very few things that I endorse or tell people they need to have. You start where you are with what you got.
Right.
If all you got is some water bottles, fill those up with sand and use those as weights. You got a resistance band from Five Below. That's one of my favorite places to tell people to get equipment from. Probably not now because since everybody's at home, they bought out everything in the stores. You can't find dumbbells. You can't find resistance bands.
Right.
You can hardly find any type of fitness equipment. Even Walmart is out right now. So
what about Amazon?
Sometimes you can find it on there. I was trying to find some heavier dumbbells. When I put it in the cart, they said it would be delivered in August. This was back in May.
That won't work.
So I changed my mind. I decided to just keep using what I had and make it work.
Wait, I know y'all got some Alabama bricks around there somewhere, right? Can people lift bricks?
I wouldn't suggest starting out with that. But if your strength level is at that point, you can, and you can deadlift with them. You can, I wouldn't suggest like trying to press them or anything because
no. Just lifting,
Yeah.
And you can do your arm curls, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
Perhaps. I mean, I'm just trying, thinking outside the box like you because you're saying that the commercial stores are closed due to this COVID pandemic. So, it might be somebody watching like, well, I want to get started. What can I do? I know one thing I've seen, and you tell me what's your take on this. Every time I look at my Instagram account, I know you see them. All them sponsored ads, right?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, they got so many apps that you can download in the Play Store.
Mm-hmm.
I got one for my arms. I got one for my glutes. I got one for my thighs. I got one for my tummy, my back. Ask me how many of them I use.
Well, see, I don't have a problem with the fitness apps. a lot of them, especially if it's, meant to be progressive, where you start out at your ability level and then you move up, that's great. But sometimes, I mean, some people need to have what's called a physical assessment before they exercise.
Right.
Because you can have issues that may aggravate some type of injury or, create one if you don't have one. If you're, I don't want to use a big word, if your joints and your alignment is off and you jump into trying to do squats with dumbbells or a barbell, first thing that's going to go is your lower back and your knees, and possibly ankles too. Because if your weight is unevenly distributed already, because you probably had like a past knee injury and you're like favoring that leg and you shift your weight, then that's going to cause a problem. You may be able to do it, for a few months, and then next thing you know, you're somewhere with an ice pack because you pull something or you strain something and you don't know what you did, but you just know you can't do the movements that you were doing before that.
Okay. Let me ask a question, because a friend of mine recently started for the first time in many years doing a walk run. And I do a walk run,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm suffering from some thigh pain, some neuralgia. But as I feel okay to do it, I do it. And this friend was telling me that he was suffering pain in the calves. He had some knee surgery before, so he thought his knees would bother him, but no, it's the calves. So my question is, when a person plans to walk, run, right?
Mm-hmm.
How should they start out? Shouldn't they be stretching before they start?
Absolutely, yes.
What type of stretches?
There's something called a dynamic stretch, and I would demonstrate it, but my camera space is limited.
Gotcha, it's okay.
You can Google that and find YouTube videos on dynamic stretching. So basically that's going to stretch. You want to concentrate on the lower body, especially if you're going to be running. And you're going to stretch your quads, which is the front of the thigh, hamstrings, which is the back of the thigh, your calves, your ankles with some flexion, backwards and forwards flexion. And if you have flat feet, you want to make sure that you're wearing the proper shoes, along with stretching. Not wearing some shoes you have for a really long time. Sometimes you may need some type of orthotic insert in the shoe, because if you have flat feet or if you have, really high arches, that can put stress and strain on other muscles that normally wouldn't hurt when you walk or run.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have an arch that looks like this. I have a very high arch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have orthotics or anything in my shoes. Is that something I should look at? Consider?
If you're not having, if it's not causing you any problems, then you may have shoes that fit properly already. But I tell people there's two things you can do. There are some stores, sometimes they're locally owned, sometimes it's a chain. I know there's one chain that has a location here in Montgomery. You can go to these stores that specialize in running shoes or walking shoes. Mm-hmm. They will have you step on a platform that will basically tell you what you need as far as alignment for your feet. And then they can recommend shoes that will help with that. You can also see a chiropractor or a podiatrist. I'm more pro chiropractor than I am podiatrist, only because in this area, a lot of the podiatrists are still using the method of making orthotics, where they have you stand up and put all your weight into a foam mold. Well, the problem with that is when you put all your weight on your foot, it spreads out. So then when you get your orthotics back, you got to go find some extra wide shoes to get them in there. At least I did, because my foot is already wide. So, and then also because if you have Blue Cross of Alabama, your insurance will cover orthotics for free through a chiropractor, and you may have to pay upwards of $500 at a podiatrist.
Whoa, that's excellent information. Thank
That's
you.
what I that's what I learned from personal experience. And
Excellent.
I believe you can get a free pair every year through a chiropractor. Or
Okay.
maybe every 2 years.
Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. That's good to know. So I actually, when I bought my shoes,
Hmm.
I tend to buy New Balance. Okay. I like New Balance.
Yeah, those are my
They
favorite.
feel good on my feet.
Hmm.
Just wearing them leisurely or for exercise, they just feel good on my feet. So that's what I buy.
Yes, those are my favorites as well.
Oh, good. So I'm doing something right.
I've tried some other ones, but I always go back to New Balance.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So, um, I wanted to ask you, what do you think, Miss Fitness Certified Personal Trainer, Kim Bush,
Uh-huh.
what do you think about, because I told the folks we were going to talk about meal plans and nutrition too a little bit, because you
Hmm.
do share those wonderful meals that you prepare, and you used to do your meal prep, on the weekend. I paid attention because I started doing it. I be chopping and cutting and getting it ready, baby. And I posted on the social media like, I'm doing this, y'all. Y'all better do this. I got it from you. I'm gonna tag you with it the next time. I got that from you. I be paying attention. I may not always comment, but I pay attention. And
A
I've been
lot of
doing
people
that for
do.
several years now, across state lines, interstate.
Yeah.
But with the meal plan, nutrition stuff, what do you feel about Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem? Remember
Hmm.
Jenny Craig back in the day?
Yes, I remember
Where'd
Jenny.
she go?
Um, I thought the program was still around. I know she's not the spokesperson because she had a very tragic freak accident that affected her ability to speak.
No.
Yeah. I think I may have
Mercy.
seen it on Oprah or some special
I'll
Dateline,
have
one
to
of those shows.
Google it.
So she, that's why you may have seen commercials, but it's like actors or paid spokespeople. But anyway, so I don't have a problem with Weight Watchers. I think, and that's because it's more of it's more of behavior modification. Um, but there again, there's all that counting and the points, and I know they've modified the program over the last few years. I haven't looked into it for a really long time, so I'm not familiar with how it works now, but I know that there's still some points and counting, some type of system involved of tracking what you eat. And I think that helps some people because sometimes people need that to develop new habits. If you do
Okay.
it long enough, after a while, you probably won't even have to track or count. Um, I measured my food for a while with a food scale and measuring cups and stuff like that. And then I got to the point where I could eyeball it and tell, okay, that's a fourth of a cup, that's a half a cup, whatever. Um, Now, meal plans I don't do, and there's a reason for that. As a personal trainer, we're not certified as nutritionists and we're not registered dietitians. So the program that I got certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, they tell you in the curriculum you're not qualified to do a meal plan for anybody because you're not a dietitian or a nutritionist. So that's why I mostly work with developing habits because habits will work instead of trying to make somebody conform to a meal plan. It's like my glasses, for example. Everybody can't wear my prescription.
Right.
If I try to force myself to be on a certain meal plan, and I've tried. Before I became a trainer, I purchased some from trainers online. That's a different story for another day. And I would do okay for about a week, and then the feeling of, and first of all, let me say I am a recovered binge eater. So
Really?
I feel like, oh yeah, I feel like meal plans for me drive the deprivation mentality, and then after about a week to 10 days, I'm off the rails. It's code red, call in the cops. 'Cause
Stop it.
I'm eating, I'm eating up the kids' snacks. I'm looking for whatever I can find in the pantry.
Okay. So for those who don't know what binge eating means, can you please tell us? I know.
Yeah, binge eating is disordered eating where you something may trigger you, like
There
an
you go.
emotional trigger or anxiety, situational triggers, and you eat because that's how you comfort yourself. And it's
Yeah.
usually linked back to an experience that you had as a child or a traumatic experience. And then, you never learned a way to cope with those feelings or emotions, basically. So that's my interpretation in layman's terms.
Very good.
Yeah,
I
I've done a
heard
lot of
all of
work.
those keywords.
I've done a lot of work on me over the years.
Yes.
So I've learned some things.
Excellent. And what I love about you the most, well, I love you, period. You know that.
Yeah.
But
I love you too.
thank you, love. You're transparent like me. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
we are transparent to a fault, you and I. And it's like my mama. You know my mom.
Mhm.
You've known her a long time. And she was like, do you need to be saying all that to them people on social media? And I'm like, yeah. If God tells me to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, you may not always understand, but I think you and I had a conversation around 2016, and it went something like this. Sometimes you got to do you.
Mhm.
Sometimes, or you get to a point where you got to be a little selfish.
Yes.
I'm going to
And that
pause right
scares
there.
people.
Say that again.
That scares people sometimes because they don't know how to do for themselves. They're so used to taking care of everybody else.
What you say? You think?
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes we enjoy that dysfunction. If we don't know anything else.
Dysfunction?
Oh yeah. If we don't
Why
know
got to
anything
be
else.
dysfunction, Kim?
Well, I'm not saying taking care of people is dysfunction, but sometimes people will find out that you will do for them and they'll exploit that and manipulate that a little bit. So, you know. And then when we haven't learned how to recognize that behavior and set up a boundary, then it becomes a codependent thing
Did you
because we
say
don't know
boundaries?
any.
Why are you talking my language? You
Because
want to just
hopefully,
develop some treatment plans and stuff?
maybe one day, I gotta finish the bachelor's first.
Clinical mental health counseling, adult psychotherapy treatment planning. Look at you. You're talking about dysfunction. You're talking about boundaries. You talked about triggers. You talked about coping skills. So what are you really trying to say?
Oh gosh, let me see if I can make it, if I can condense it. Let me put it this way: becoming a trainer was really a secondary goal. My original plan was to finish my bachelor's, get my master's, and become a mental health counselor. But I felt like so much in our community and I'm talking about the African American community, is tied to food and our dysfunction with food. But you got to go back and understand the root of all of that for it to make sense. There was a time when food was all we had. That's how we celebrated. Um, it was there after we funeralized somebody, still is. It was all we could do for each other sometimes because we a lot of us didn't come from rich backgrounds, but you could cook somebody something in love, and that was a way of showing your affection, appreciation, all that good stuff. It's just that we never quite learned how to separate the celebratory part with the going over the edge part, if that makes sense. My brother put it one time, we're the only culture that will funeralize somebody and then go back to the fellowship hall and eat the food that probably killed them. And that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. And I mean, you know, I watched my parents, my great aunts, you know, have illnesses that are what they call now diseases of lifestyle. Diabetes, high blood pressure. My dad died from a massive heart attack at 61. That's young. You know, the closer I got to 40, the more I felt like 60 was still young. And, you know, we don't learn how to deal with our stress, which that's sometimes it's hard to, because that's all we know. But that's another story for another day. And, you know, eating and sometimes drinking becomes a way to escape the stress that we don't know how to manage. The emotions that we don't know how to manage, the hopelessness sometimes that we don't know how to escape from. So I looked at my own mother, she'll tell you, when she was, I think in her late 30s, she was diagnosed with diabetes. And then it was like a snowball effect, the heart disease. But a lot of that was because she was working as a single parent, trying to make ends meet, trying to take care of us, her mother, you know, help her siblings sometimes when necessary. And you kind of put yourself on the back burner. And she told me one time when I was really having a hard time dealing with a lot of things that were going on. I was a new parent, and you know, there was a lot going on with that situation in itself. But I would be really stressed. And she told me one day, she was on supplemental oxygen for years too, like 20 plus years. She told me one day, do you see this oxygen tube on my face? This is not what you want to end up with. And I kind of took that to heart. And even though I fell off the wagon over the years and got back on, and, you know, like all of us, I've gained and lost the same 20 pounds, I don't know, a dozen times. So, you know, I finally realized I had to figure out a way to make it work where I could get it off, keep it off. I wouldn't revert back to the behaviors that brought it on in the first place. And I would try to bring as many people with me as I could in that process through social media, bearing my soul, putting it all out there, you know, getting flack for it sometimes, but I didn't care. Everybody else except you. So that's how I feel about that. Uh-oh, I think you're muted. I can't hear you. Okay, there you
go. Can you hear me?
Ah, there we are.
Okay. You are helping people is what I'm saying. You've been a blessing to a lot of people, and you have given people the courage, you know, to begin. They watched you stick to it. I call that the stick-to-itiveness. Yes. And so they have stuck to it. Yeah, we fall off the wagon, but we get back on. And as we come to a close, you said something that I just have to ask you about personally for myself. Okay. I'm sure there's somebody else out there that wants this to know this. You said you lose and gain back that same 20 pounds. What's up with that? How do you break that cycle? What's up with that? What's up with to me, it's just like the plateau. Mm-hmm. And then you finally get past that plateau, and maybe you do reach that 20-pound loss, and then you sit, and a couple more days, the pounds start adding back up. But you haven't started eating, you know, the same foods again. What's up?
Sometimes I think it's our activity level. You know, working out is not, it became a release for me, but some people never get to that point. Some people never get to the place where they enjoy physical activity, and that's fine. Because this is a marathon, not a sprint. You just have to get to a place where you understand the value of it and you make it a priority as part of your self-care.
Good word.
And I think sometimes we we'll start, we walk or whatever it is we do. And then after a while, like right now, it is blazing hot outside in the summer in Alabama. And if you don't do it early in the morning, or if you don't have a treadmill where you can do it inside in air conditioning, most people they're not going to do it. And it's really dangerous to exercise in the heat like this.
Right.
So they probably would say, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it today. I'm going to take a day off, which is fine because you need rest. Rest is just as important as the physical activity because you got to give your body time to recover. But then before you know it, one rest day has turned into two. Two has turned into three. Then we like, ooh, what's on Netflix? Do we have any popcorn? Ooh, I think I want some ice cream. And then, you're back in the cycle of behavior. You may not feel like it, but you're back in the cycle of behavior that led to the weight gain. And I know I would do the same thing. I'm guilty. You lose that 20 pounds and you start feeling yourself and you be like, I think I'm okay. I don't think I need to do nothing. And then the next thing you know, that 20 is back with 5 more. Like that scripture, you didn't sweep the house and security is going to bring back 7 more.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You're speaking truth. Well, all you did really, you confirmed and educated. How about that? I'm just being honest with it, It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, again, you brought up some good terms. Self-care.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good term. It goes with selflessness, too, sometimes. And it's just mapping out time for you, right?
Yes.
Doing what makes you feel good.
Right.
You also brought up another point that I share with clients in counseling sessions. That is, exercise is an excellent coping strategy for many people to reduce anxiety, stress. It can even help with depression, right?
Absolutely.
Exercise, people always say, well, I'm going to run, I'm going to lift. I tend to like the cardio because I like to sweat. Sweating to me makes me feel like I burned some real fat. But after I lost a bunch of weight previously, and I'm pretty much, that's the thing about me, I'm tall, so I might get a little thicker, but usually my clothes still fit. It's the craziest thing. I don't know how. They don't be like this on me, but they fit, and they're not all elastic and stretch. But I'm going to end it with this question, if I may. When should one focus on cardio if they're on a weight loss journey, as opposed to the weightlifting?
Let's see. How can I answer that? Well, it depends on what your body responds the best to, but I will put it this way. If your focus is weight loss, you should be doing some type of strength or resistance training minimum twice a week. And the reason for that is when you build muscle, that's a sneaky way of slightly increasing your metabolism. Everybody has what's called a resting metabolic rate, right? That just means the basic number of calories and nutrients your body needs to continue performing all its functions without adding any physical activity. When you build muscle, it requires more energy to maintain that muscle. So your resting metabolic rate creeps up a little bit, the more lean muscle mass that you put on. Cardio, sometimes it burns energy while you're performing that activity, but when you're done, that's it. With strength training, your body continues to exert energy to repair your muscles from the micro tears that you make when you lift. There's something called EPOC, which stands for exercise post-oxygen consumption. Because a lot of people feel like when we work out, that's when we're burning fat. The truth of it is fat is actually exhaled as part of your carbon dioxide. about 80, I don't quote me on the number, but somewhere around 70 to 80%. The rest comes out through your excretory waste. So when you're sweating, I know that a lot of people like to sweat, and sweating is good. You get some gunk out of your pores, you cleanse your system. But when you replenish your liquids, that equals your water balance back out. When you're strength training and you finish your workout, and I'm not saying you got to stop your cardio. Like my trainer would tell because I still have a trainer. Even though I'm a trainer, I still have a trainer. Because he is the master of the quick and dirty workout. But he will tell people if cardio is your jam and that's what keeps you mentally balanced and you need that activity, to stay sane, he won't, he won't tell them to stop the cardio. Just try to, pull it back a little bit. But your muscles, will continue to repair themselves, and that's going to require energy. And basically, strength training is more bang for your buck. And it doesn't have to be, we're not trying to look like Lou Ferrigno. You can do some 5-pound dumbbells, do some curls, do some overhead presses. You can even use a dumbbell in the back of your knee and do donkey kicks, and that gives you a little extra resistance on those glute muscles. So there's a lot of ways that you can do it simply and easily, and you don't have to have a gym membership. A lot of people think, oh, Lord, I got to go to the gym, which in some parts of the country, gyms are closed. They're open here, but I'm not going right now.
They're not open here in Texas.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't go anyway right now because the COVID numbers are too high.
And we already talked about Alabama, so.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, because every once in a while, now, even though I'm not a fan of a lot of cardio, there was a time where once or twice a month I would go to the gym and get on the arc trainer because I could pretend like I was running. As close as I'm gonna get to running. If you see me running, you need to be running too. And 20, 30 minutes, I get good and sweaty, and whatever that was, I was trying to process mentally, I could get that out in that little session.
Right.
So, so I understand the people that love the cardio. I do. I'm just, I have a different kind of love for it.
Okay. Well, I guess I got to do more strength training, and I'm sure people are going to, want to get in touch with you.
Yes.
So do you mind sharing all of your contacts? Like, I think you have a website, I believe, and you're on various platforms. So if you don't mind, as we're going out, sharing with us how we can stay in touch with certified personal trainer Kim Bush, founder and owner of Fearlessly Fit Training in Montgomery, Alabama.
Absolutely. So on Facebook, I have a page, Fearlessly Fit Training. I try to keep that, the same across all platforms. Instagram is Fearlessly Fit CPT for Certified Personal Trainer. And my contact information is on both of those platforms if you want to reach out to me, ask me any questions. My website is fearlesslyfittraining.com, and it's also linked on my social media. So, yeah, that's me.
Okay. I was trying to bring up your site. Let me see if I can bring it up. Fearlessly Fit Training. I brought it up. Because you have a page on Facebook, right?
I do, yes.
Okay. So you guys can go to her Facebook. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. And then you have an Instagram. They can follow you on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. You told them about your website. Did you give your email address at all?
I think I might have missed that one. Email is kimbfearless@gmail.com.
Kim, K-I-M-B, boy, fearless at gmail.com.
And I believe there's a link on Instagram to my email as well.
Okay. And the Instagram is Fearlessly Fit CPT.
Right.
Okay. So you guys know how to get in touch with my friend, my little sister, Kim Bush. I'm going to stay in touch with her too. And that's the good thing, y'all. We had a conversation the other day because I was looking at one of her posts on Instagram. Her Instagram is very helpful. And I think she ties it over to her other social media platforms like Facebook, yeah. But what I found out is that she can do remote training. So you don't think you have to be in Montgomery, Alabama to become her client. She can help you all around the world, all around the globe. And she has some wonderful technologies that she implements to help her with the process, right?
Yes, I have an app that my clients use with pre-recorded videos of each movement, and they can also message me with questions and anything they need through that app.
Awesome, awesome. Well, again, my sweet friend, I'm very proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Your journey continues, and I see all of your beauty. You've always been beautiful, your progress. I see your happiness. You know, there's a saying that goes like this, and I share it when I do career counseling a lot of times, and that is this. If you can pick something that you enjoy doing, you'll do that well and you'll stick with it. And so I just applaud you for taking care of you. Because in your journey of taking care of you, you're taking care of all of us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign off from the second episode of Unfiltered with Cara Jones Unlimited podcast. Cara Jones Unlimited Grown Women Only series. We covered Simply Saniqua Pound Cakes, my sister, Saniqua Murray, in Birmingham, Alabama. What was it, back in April? I do this once a quarter, by the way, and I do have some other CJU, GWO ladies who are lined up, you know, to share with us. But Miss Bush, Kim, is our second episode. So stay tuned. There's more to come. And can we reconnect on here again? Because I like what you have to offer, Kim.
Oh, sure.
Cool beans. So stay tuned because Miss Bush will be coming back. Y'all send me some emails, DMs on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Let me know what y'all think of this. Leave a comment on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share. Everybody, good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Ta-ta. Stay safe. Stay home. Save lives. Wear a mask.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace.